Alright, so we are looking at the string pattern shape assignments and how they went up in fifths and they would go down in fourths. And when you go down in fourths, this isn't a good diagram because you'd have to take C and put it on top of E again. So it would go right there, 3, 4, 5, and that kind of thing. So we can go E to C is an augmented fifth. And going back from C to E is a diminished fourth. And then from E to A is a fourth. The letter E to the letter A. These are assignments that I've made for these tri-note strings, and because of the half step, whole step, and the numbers associated with them, that gives them their uniqueness and their bookend isolation. Bookend isolation. Okay, now if it's caged, and this is the subject of the next chart, so let's bump right up there. Let's go right there because this stuff is great. Okay, we got right here, we got the same thing, and I just want to mention about bringing that 7 over, and that 7 would be a B in the key of C, and the key of B, it would be a sharp, right? Whatever it is, about bringing that 7 over, that's one thing that you have to know. So this thing looks like a 7L here. Okay, so here's the 7 shape, and here's the L shape. This is the S3L, and L stands for long. Okay, the S3S is just the middle part, the 2, 3, 5, 6 root 2, which was the first really square tri-string little ditty I could play. And in the D shape, okay, down here I can get it on my baritone section here. In the D shape, that's just and that F is part of the D shape in the if you add the tab. So that was the fourth. So that would be the long form. And for about a year, this is all that I would use to play my scales, as I would fit this into the music. Once I got this fit into the music, and that was the key of the song, no matter what the song did, it could have went 1, 4, 5, 6 minor, 3 minor to 4, then to 5, 7, 5 dominant. No matter what the song did, once you got the key of the song and fit this major scale, which would be root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root, right? You got the two patterns, the S2L and the S3L. I've shown the S2L stacked on top of here. Once you fit these patterns to the music, you can play away. The only difference is the tuning warp, and that is the tuning between the tuning third, we'll call it. Okay, I'm going to start to call it the tuning third. So E to A is a fourth, A to D is a fourth, D to G is a fourth, but G to B is a third. Okay, and then we go back to a fourth, B to E. So there's these peculiarities, and they also lead to diminished fourths and augmented fifths when we're going down in fourths and up in fifths. So that's a little double talk. It sounds, difficult, but I'll show you how it works. Once you learn the little peculiarities of the guitar, the patterns will work. You just have to adjust for it. So in the key of C, the 7 would be brought over. All right, I'm just gonna grab this right here and bring it over there for you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. The 7 will be brought directly over like that, and we'll just straighten it out so that all the fret columns are right. Okay, this goes away. We're not concerned with the G there. That's because it would have been warped over with it, so it wasn't. So we're going to just not look at it right now. So in this case, where we had the 3 on the bottom, which is the C shape, it becomes it becomes a C cage where you can play, because we warped the 7 over, because now we have the third there. We have our third there. 5 to 7 would be G to B. Okay, so that'll play. And you can play it directly. We have a diatonic scale: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5. So where it gets interesting is when we look at the caged relationship. And that is where the cages overlap. Now, when we're going in fourths like this one, the G and the C, the big ones, do not overlap. They are like this. And A isn't in the picture anymore. It's A would be kind of, A would still be there, but it would be kind of like there. All right, it would be half of each one of them. That's what it would be. So A shares half of C, and the other half of A is the other half, is like half of G. And same thing with E. E is half of G and half of D. That's what E is. So just let's look at A, G, E for a second. Here's A and G. A is half of G because A is 5, 6. So see if I can sneak this. See if I can sneak this diagram over. Oh, okay, we're locked into the drawing tool here. See if I can sneak this diagram over. So these are the individual shapes, and these are the string pattern pairs. All right, and I'm saying here, I guess we might as well cover this, and we're coming up in the end of the segment here, so we don't want to get too complicated and then have an interruption. These are the single shapes, string shapes. If any of these string shapes is on the bottom, and the others would be stacked on top, so C would go on top of E, G would go on top of C, it would become that cage shape. So if you were playing a C and you wanted to go to an A shape, you would put the A on top and put all three of these guys on top of them. Okay, so it would look something like this, right? And in that case, you'd be playing your A shape, and you'd get your 5 root, get your 5 root 3 right there. We didn't warp it over yet. You see what I'm saying? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd have to warp over the top string there. Once we do that and warp that top string over, because that's the way the guitar is, okay, then we can see how we get our A-shaped root chord, 5 root 3, and that's your A shape. You'd be starting from the 5th. There's your A, starting from the 5th. Be like that. That's your A shape. And that's just an A-shaped C. And if you go, that is an A-shaped A. That is your A in the key of A. This is your C, A-shaped C in the key of C. So that's how we put that together. So the basics, I guess, I wrote them here. Each scale member, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is part of 2 string lettered patterns from the C, G, D, A, E. If you look at that, so each pair of string shaped letter patterns that contain the same members are in fact cage link shapes. Okay, that's over here. But let's look at the first statement. Okay, so here's root is in 2 of them. 2 is in 2 of them. 2 is in the A, 2 is in the D, 3 is in the D, 3 is in the C, 4 is in the C, 4 is also in the D, etc., etc. Each scale member is part of 2 string-shaped lettered patterns.